Are you an accounting or tax professional who wants to stay ahead without spending a dime? Join thousands who trust insightful accountant and tax practice news to keep them informed and empowered. Get expert updates on QuickBooks, Xero, tax planning strategies, and workflow tips delivered straight to your inbox. Whether you're a solo bookkeeper, firm leader, or tax advisor, these newsletters are your shortcut to what's next in the profession. They're free, practical, and built for people like you. Visit insightfulaccountant.com and hit subscribe to start your smarter workflow today for free.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Accounting Insiders Podcast. My name is Gary DeHart. I'm the publisher of Insightful Accountant and the host of the Accounting Insiders Podcast. It is October the 15th, 2025. Believe it or not, we are in Q4, and I always like to put the date out there just because I don't know when somebody listens to this. So we may say something that is super relevant or 100% true today that could change, 2 months from now, especially with the AI, which is part of what we're going to be talking about. So rapidly changing. So my guest is Jane Ingram, who is the Director of Operations and Marketing for Forwardly. Welcome, Jane. Thanks for taking some time out and having a discussion.
Happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, and remind me again, where are you located?
I'm personally located in Vancouver, British Columbia, up in Canada.
Okay. Is it winter yet?
No, Vancouver has the luxury of being one of the warmest cities in Canada. So it's actually a beautiful, beautiful fall day out. Sun is shining. I see mostly blue skies. It's gorgeous.
So anything on the mountaintops yet? Because you can see, I've been to Vancouver once, but can you see the ski hills, air quotes there?
I can't see them from my window, but I think there's a tiny bit of snow starting.
Okay. Yeah. It's almost here.
It's on its way.
Right. Let's hope. Better be.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hopefully.
So we're gonna just kind of touch on several different topics through over the next 15-20 minutes, whatever it ends up being. But we're going to start off with kind of your background. So how long have you been with Forwardly, and what brought you to Forwardly? And so let's start with that.
Sure thing. Well, as you mentioned, I'm the Director of Operations and Marketing at Forwardly. So I've been with Forwardly basically since it started. Before that, we were working with accounting, aggregated accounting data and banking data for banks and lenders. That was a few years ago. Eventually, we realized that it might be nice to kind of like eat our own dog food and create an app that solved a really simple problem, which was, making payments easier for small businesses. And I personally got into it. I mean, I started working with our CEO, Nick Chandy, during the pandemic. I just applied to the job. I worked in marketing myself. That was my entire background. But what really caught my eye was the industry that was hiring was for like finance. And this is going to sound so cliche, but I was raised in a tax preparation firm. My dad was a relatively infamous or famous, however you want to put it, tax professional in the US and Canada throughout most of the 80s, 90s. He wrote the Canadian Tax Guide for something like 15 years. And I grew up in a tax firm. One of the first memories I have is being taught how to photocopy the annual tax booklet we would give to every client that came by. I got 25 cents per booklet. It was
big spender.
Big money at the time. Yeah. So I grew up in a tax firm, and I was very resistant to accounting. I always referred to it as accounting when I was a kid, and I was always really resistant. My dad would be like, come and learn how to do tax prep. And I'd be like, you will never catch me working with anything to do with finance. It is horrible. It is terrible. I was like the very typical teenager. And, years later, here I was applying for a job to work at a accounting data company, and here I am 5 years later.
Now you're elbow deep in accounting, but not from the but you're not filling out forms.
No, I'm not. I like to say I'm in the fun side of things. Yeah. I'm in the tech side of things instead. So more of the customer service and implementation. But you know what? I still think like a lot of the people who knew me when I was a kid, they see where I am and they laugh. They say, this is so perfect.
That's funny. Yeah.
I like to say, sorry.
No, I was just say my kind of two things that I'm just never really like enjoyed dealing with. One, employee benefits, right? It's kind of when that time of the year rolls around, you have to go through it, and it's like, I don't know if you have to do that in Canada or not, but here it's kind of a pain. And I worked on employee benefit news magazine for about 6 or 8 years. I can't even remember. And then, so I was in the employee benefit space for a long time, and then rolled into accounting. Accounting was my worst class in college. And, so here I am, very similar to
Yep.
you. It's like, I'm on the side of accounting that I should be on in
Yeah.
media, not, not doing anybody's taxes or their bookkeeping, other than
Yeah.
dabbling in our own. So, now what about prior to Forwardly?
Yeah, prior to Forwardly, I worked for, I did basically small business consulting, so
Okay.
marketing for small businesses. And I worked with a variety of different businesses,
Mhm.
primarily like restaurants and food service related. I also, served for years and stuff while I was much younger, uh, bartended, that kind of thing. I was a front of house manager for a small restaurant in Vancouver, that kind of thing. And then eventually one day that restaurant was like, hey, we could use a better social media presence. And I said, gosh, I'd love to do that.
I
And
can do
all of a
that.
sudden, overnight, I was getting an office job for the first time in my life, uh, working a 9 to 5 and working on marketing and sales full time.
And you're like, hey, this actually, I'm good at it. I like it. This works for me.
It was it was like a duck to water.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
yeah, it
Yeah,
worked out really well. And you know what? Coming back to finance, like the first accounting conference I went to, I heard the first person start talking about like 1040s, and it was like coming home.
right. Like, I know what that is. Heard about
Yeah,
that
it
for a
was it
long,
was
long
just like
time.
my ears perked up and I went, I had that moment of like, "Ugh. Oh, wait, no, 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 it's fine. I don't have to do anything about it."
Yeah, right. Palms start
But it was,
sweating.
yeah, it was really nice. So,
Okay, well, great. And so
yeah.
then, so Forwardly, what is it?
Yeah. So Forwardly, really what we are is we're an AI native payments and cash flow management platform. And because that is a lot of words all at once,
Hmm.
basically we sync with accounting platforms to and help businesses pay bills and get paid from other businesses.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's kind of the elevator pitch.
are you general GL agnostic?
Yeah, so you don't need to connect an accounting platform. It does make it a lot easier. And one of our biggest benefits. So we kind of have three benefits, right? We do instant payments. So we're one of the few payments companies that are actually really utilizing like those real-time instant payments that transfer evenings, weekends, holidays, kind of thing.
Okay.
The newer payment rails in the United States. That's one of our key benefits. The other thing is that we are AI powered automation. So we have, bill, we're not using like traditional OCR, we're doing AI powered bill capture. And then our third benefit is that we're doing accounting sync. So we actually have a really interesting, unique four-way accounting sync. For instance, if you are using QuickBooks Online and your client uses Xero, if both of you are using Forwardly and you create that invoice for your client on your QuickBooks Online,
Okay.
when you request it through Forwardly, it's going to create the bill on their system.
Okay.
And then it's going to reconcile both once it's paid. So it's kind of like that's why we say it's a four-way sync, because we're not only taking information in and out 2 ways, we're doing it really 4 ways for both you and for both the client and the vendor.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when you bring that up at a trade show, I imagine that would be something that gets people's attention.
Typically, yeah,
Yeah.
especially because, I talk to a lot of accountants who are trying to work with with different accounting platforms. They're not super tied to one. They want to give another a try, maybe for their own firm or for one or two other clients.
Hmm.
And so having that interoperability with like multiple accounting software systems really does benefit everyone. And while we only work with right now QuickBooks Online, Xero, Zoho Books, and FreshBooks, we are planning on really expanding that in the next year. So we're going to be adding stuff like Microsoft Dynamics, Sage
Okay.
Intact, a few others. And we
Okay.
pretty much entirely go off of requests. So, if anybody ever is interested in using Forwardly, maybe they're using us without connecting an accounting system, but they really would like to be able to connect their accounting system, they can contact us, fill out our form, and I'm telling you that goes straight into a feature list that I put on the product team's desk and
Okay.
force them to look at regularly.
Right. Yeah.
I hold them
This is
very accountable.
That's great. That's great. So you have the operation side, that's the mean side of you, and then you have the marketing side, that's the nice side of you. They don't want to see the mean side of you coming, right?
uh,
Operations person.
exactly. I could very easily be director of accountability.
Well, maybe we should hire you because we need that as well. It's tough. So when you say AI native, I think I know what that means, but I'm going to let you explain what that means, just in case somebody hasn't heard it, and we'll see
Yeah.
if I was right.
I mean, it's very similar to AI powered. It's just the idea that we are using AI in the way it's meant to be, right? It's not just like an additional feature that's being added on top of something. It's a critical part of the infrastructure for the app. When you're using our AI inbox, it's running entirely on AI. It's not like doing OCR and then running AI on top of that. It's just AI.
Okay.
So it's a fully intelligent platform. And when you're running that PDF through, it's going to be reading the bill, it's going to be extracting the data. And the more you use it, the better it gets. So, the first time it might not quite understand, oh, it's going to this business. But the second time you do, it's going to be like, oh, yeah, last time I received from this email, it went to this spot and
Right.
gotta fix it this time. Right. So it really does get better the more you use it.
Okay. Okay. It's not how I would have explained it, and I would say I probably would have gotten it about half right. So I'm glad I had you explain it instead of
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And so what's the kind of the user interface look like, and not like detailed, but like if I'm a user,
Hmm.
you mentioned a couple of things. You don't have to have it connected, but it's probably best if you do, or
I mean, if
most efficient if you do.
it's going to be most effective if you connect your accounting software,
Hmm.
always, because obviously we're going to sync with everything that already exists in your system. So that AI autopilot is going to be able to run even more smoothly if you have your accounting system, connected,
Hmm.
because it's going to have more data to go off of, right? That old saying, garbage in, garbage out, really does apply here. If you don't feed it any data, or you feed it bad data, it's going to spit out bad data.
Right. Yeah.
Which is always why it's fun for us trying to, run demos and stuff, because obviously we're using test data. Um,
Yeah.
but really, the interface is pretty simple. We do a lot of testing, we do a lot of research. Our team uses some of the, we use guidelines from all of the top award-winning design features. Like, there's specific things that different interfaces and systems recommend. Like, these are the best way to create a button, this is the best way to create a pop-up, and we utilize all those things when it comes to building our app. So we really try and make it as easy as possible. One of our things is we hate an app that requires you to kind of have a degree or 10 years of experience to touch.
Right.
We want to make it easy for both. While we originally built it for accountants, our goal is really to make our product loved by your clients and your vendors too.
Okay.
So
And
it's
then,
simple. Yeah.
yeah, well, simple is good, right? We like simple.
Yeah.
So our audience is primarily, tax and accounting professionals,
Hmm.
and I always like to ask the question of, what's in it for them and
Hmm.
what's in it for their client. So, by that I mean, why should, a tax and accounting pro or an end user or both really take a hard look at, Forwardly or, similar type of service for their businesses?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, the easiest thing is because we're free to set up. We don't have any monthly subscriptions or user limits. So even if you don't necessarily need faster payment options all the time, uh, we're available. Like, you can create an account, you can get the business added, and have it kind of ready to go for when you need it, which is very useful, especially when compared with some of the bigger bill payment platforms that charge you an arm and a leg just to be able to add a single business, much less multiple users, right? For us, we also don't paywall any kind of features. So, for instance, we have a really robust approval policy and thresholds and like user roles and permissions. So,
Okay.
not only can you add your entire firm, but you can give them very specific approval access depending on which business you want them to be working on. Say you want one person to just do approvals for one, or for, the whole swath of businesses, and then you need somebody else to actually go and schedule the payments. You can absolutely do that with our firm and for a free account. Some of our competitors are going to be paying like $100 a month just to have access to a feature like that. So
Hmm.
that's definitely a bonus. Yeah, that's one of the big ones. The other bonus that you can also access is if you are an accountant and you're looking to bring on your clients to us. We do have a partner program, and it's pretty easy to get rewards for that kind of thing.
Okay. And what all would be included in the partner program?
Yeah, so partner program is pretty simple. You get a referral link, and then anybody who signs up through that link, once they've onboarded and begun receiving payments through Forwardly, you get about $100 per business right now. However, we are expanding it pretty soon, so it'll be changing slightly, but basically we're going to be like quadrupling the rewards, and it's going to be kind of like scaling. So the more the business uses Forwardly, the more rewards you're going to earn over time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you started talking about approvals and the processes. How much onboarding time or how difficult is it to onboard? Let's say I'm an accounting firm.
Mhm.
Am I going to have to, time, right, is what
Yeah,
that's our real currency is time.
of course.
And so when we start, and we all have tons of software, right? So when
Mhm.
we're talking about adding a new one, well, I know it's going to take me some level of time. What does that look like?
Yeah. I did a course, I think 10 years ago. It was when I was first joining marketing. It was like the first non-marketing course I ever did. And it was on basic game theory. It was the idea that people, when they sign up, in order to switch to a new service, the benefit needs to outweigh the pain.
Hmm.
That's the TLDR, right? And so we're always thinking about that when it comes to people onboarding. It's the thing that I repeat all the time is, are we reducing the pain of switching? And it really depends on what you want to use Forwardly for. If you're currently receiving payments automatically through another payment system and you're like, well, I'd rather switch to Forwardly because then I'll have more features and I'll be able to receive the payments automatically through Forwardly. We have a expedited migration that makes it super easy. It's like we'll do basically all the heavy lifting. You just need to submit some paperwork for all your
Okay.
clients in one go. And we've had some businesses who submit like 800 clients at one time. And
Wow.
we can handle that all for them, right? Actually compiling that data, I mean, it comes to how well put together your system is, right? If you aren't keeping great records, then it might take you a little bit longer to get everything put together.
Hmm.
On the other hand, if you don't have auto payment authorizations and you want to use Forwardly to receive payments, you can also just mass click on all of your clients and send all of them auto payment authorizations at once. They'll be immediately invited to go through Forwardly and do our expedited auto payment onboarding, which doesn't force them to create an account, but does basically say, hey, this business has requested authorization to, you know, send automatic payments or like charge you automatically in the future. Do you accept? It basically replicates an ACH form. And then once they click that, you're all good. The next invoice you create for that client will be automatically charged on the due date.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So on the other hand, if you're looking to use Forwardly to pay bills, if you have a link of like all your vendors and you already have their ACH information, we also have a way to expedite bring all those vendors on at once. So really it comes down to, how does your system look? Are you organized on your side of things? Because if you're organized, it'll be really, really, really easy. If you're not that organized, it might take a little bit longer, but we also have a team who is willing to help you and walk you through. And we will, we're not going to be like the other businesses where it might take you a couple of days to get a call or actually speak to a human. We average reply to people within an hour and a half during business
Okay.
hours. So, or less often, that's really our go-to. So help is very accessible if you need it.
So more available than the IRS,
That's the goal.
right? Right. Yeah, I think, well,
Not that that's a tall,
right.
not that
It is
that's
not a
exactly
tall order, not a big
that's
hurdle to
not a tall
cross.
order, but yes, we do
No.
try and
Yeah.
be very accessible. I know, I mean, I'm a techie person. I'm always contacting businesses and
Mhm.
asking things and questions, and I hate it when I don't hear back for 2 days. So,
Right.
we're all a team, and when you contact our support, we're going to do everything we can to get back to you as fast as possible. And the whole team is going to review it, and I'm going to personally go through everything and make sure that it's all good pretty regularly. Your feedback comes to me. There's always somebody watching is the point, to make sure that you're having a
Yeah.
good experience. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. Customer service is important. I think it's very important, like in our space too, because it's a very personal business, right?
it is. And
And
that's really, I think that comes from me being raised by a guy who, he didn't, my dad, I know, didn't necessarily accept money for referrals, but the implication was always like, if he's referring somebody to you, or if he's accepting a referral from someone else, they're royalty
mhm,
because that trust has been placed in you.
right. Yep.
right? And
Absolutely.
I try and bring that to here. When somebody refers, I'm like, this was referred by this person. That referral is a big deal, and we need to respect that.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
how I
And
feel about any person who tries the platform.
is is there more to the partner program than referrals? I mean, is there training resources or ongoing webinars or anything like that that you
Yeah,
offer?
so we do have basically our partner program does get like, they get our newsletter monthly, which does offer additional resources. And then
Mhm.
every once in a while, we do also do sneak peeks of upcoming features or like annual town halls that the partner programs kind of get first pick at.
Okay.
First invite to. And then the plan is also for next year. Honestly, this year has just been a really busy for us. We did a major update in July. So I'm a bit behind on some of the things that we were trying to put out this year. But next year, we're planning on even more for partners. So like quarterly lunch and learns and really doing more. We're even thinking about doing like a special certification for our partners so that they can, be eligible to do more with Forwardly and really be proud of their expertise with it. So
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
lots more planned. We're doing some major updates with our partner program. So I wouldn't put anything past us.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know if we've ever covered that just in Insightful Accounting, because we do have a series that we call Advisor Alliance, where basically we send you a form, you fill it out, say, hey, here's what our partner program's all about. And then, we probably need to get that in your hands just
I
to
think
get
so.
that word out, get a little bit more details on it. And you can always do it again when you change the
Yep,
program.
that sounds
That's
great.
fine too.
My
So
to-do list, it's growing right now.
it's growing as we sit here, right? So
Yeah.
that seems to do that.
Yes.
So the one thing I thought about was are you primarily focused in US and Canada, or are you global? What's your
No, so
footprint?
we're entirely focused on US right now. We
Okay.
only offer US domestic payments for businesses. So
Okay.
we don't do any B2B, B2C. We don't do any C2B. We're business to business only, and only US domestic. However, we are looking to hopefully add in international payments sometime next year. One thing I
Okay.
always say when I'm asked is if you're interested in international payments, write in. Again, I have a feature list that I
Hmm.
force on the product team regularly. And the
Right.
more checks I have on that box, the more I can go and say, this is, we need this
Yeah.
faster.
Need to move it up. Right.
Yeah,
Okay. Great. So let's talk about AI a little bit.
sure.
We did talk about it being AI native.
Mhm.
What are you seeing the AI impact really in your space being kind of payments?
Yeah,
What are the trends that you're seeing there?
absolutely. Well, I mean, I think, payments in the past has always been so manual. Like even filling out, doing every kind of payment in the firm was always very manual. It required a ton of double checking, triple checking, making sure it's followed up on, oh, did thinking back to the day, oh, did this check get delivered or not? And if it did get
Yeah.
delivered, did it get actually deposited? And if it got
Hmm.
deposited, did it go through? There's so many different layers to it. So I think what AI is going to do is it's just going to make it a more automated real-time process, right? Because it's going to be able to intelligently watch the payment go from A to B and inform people, the right people, when it goes wrong. So invoice capture, matching, approval routing, it's going to become more intelligent. It's going to become more hands-free. The kind of thing where, yeah, if you have really complicated approval policies, those might take a couple hours to set up once, but every time they run, they're going to save you how much time in approvals by having the right
Hmm.
person always informed? How much time are they going to save with the automated reminders? How much interoffice bugging and nagging are you going to cut down on? Right? Not only that, but AI can also be used to detect duplicate invoices. It can be used to detect fraud, flag any kind of anomalies before the payments go out. Right? So there's a lot of opportunity with AI and payments, and I think we're really only hitting the tip of the iceberg. The biggest thing I see is just making sure that when it's rolled out, it's done in a way that does allow the firm and the business to retain their hands on the wheel, so to speak, right? It might be on
Yeah.
autopilot, but we're not going to let it drive alone. We are going to have somebody who is the dedicated person who monitors and makes sure that everything is okay, right? Everything should always be audited. Having a system that
Sure.
makes sure that that audit is easy to see is very important too.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Is there, oh gosh, you said something that brought up another question. It was, I lost it, but
Oh
so
no.
I'll move on to the next one. And that is there an ideal like client size or an ideal profile, like a client profile for Forwardly?
We see a lot. Like I said, we had one business who uses us for, pardon me, for payments, and they, onboarded 700 clients to
Yeah.
receive all their AR. Sorry, 800 clients. That's a really good size for us. But we also see a lot of pickup from solopreneurs. So solopreneurs who say don't have very much time and just need a business that can, like an app that can automate their payments in like their received payments and make it easy for them to send their utility bills or
Yeah.
their business bills. Um, Basically, just giving them one platform, and especially for entrepreneurs who maybe can't pay those larger subscription fees, that's
Hmm.
definitely a really nice sweet spot. The other thing we see is with people who maybe they have a firm and they're just on that cusp of having added 1 to 2 people. Um, and they might be big enough to need those 1 to 2 people, but the subscription fees of adding those 1 to 2 people to an app could
Yeah.
be really out of budget.
Hmm.
And that's also a good spot where we function very well, because
Okay.
obviously you can add them. There's not going to be any additional fees, and you'll be able to scale that side of your business cleanly without having to worry about paying those higher fees for adding additional hands on deck.
So, yeah, so kind of a combination of how much time do you want to save and how many, I guess, transactions you're doing,
Yeah,
I guess, are probably a couple of things that really people would take a look at.
yeah, absolutely. It also depends on your kind of clients, right? If your clients refuse to touch digital payments, and we do occasionally see those, right? I'll be talking to somebody and they'll say, my client would never accept a digital payment, or my vendor would never accept a digital payment. They require
Mm.
checks. We're probably not a good fit for that,
Right.
because we don't deal with checks. We're only digital. So
Hmm.
obviously I'm going to tell them, well, maybe contract us, or you'll have to use us for not that client or vendor, because
Right.
we're not going to be able to help you with that, right?
Yep.
So it really also depends on their functionality of their firm. One thing I will say is a lot of our existing clients tend to be really technology forward. They are the people who are the first to try out new things. I mean, they're using Forwardly. They're very tech savvy. They're security conscious. They've chosen us because we are SOC 2 Type 2 accredited, and we take security very seriously. We've been told before, oh, it's signing up can be a bit laborious, because we do ask for business documentation during the sign up process, because we have to comply with finance regulations in the United
Hmm.
States that make it extremely important for us to track which businesses are using our platform. But we're like, you know what? If you're able to sign up for an app and send $15,000 without verifying that you're a real business,
Yeah.
shouldn't that concern you?
Right. Yeah.
People will say like, "Oh, I can't believe you asked me to sign into my bank account through Plaid," because that's an option. It's not required, but it is an option if you want faster payments.
Hmm.
Um, "Oh, you forced me to do that, but you're still asking me to verify that my business exists." And I'm like, "Do you have any idea how many banks we see that are hacked?
Right.
You don't want us doing this." Like, I get
Right.
it. There has to be some amount of friction in order to provide that security, right?
Hmm. So so where do people find you? Like, I've got upcoming events or even, on the web. Where do they track you down?
Yeah, well, for us, we have a very busy couple of weeks coming up, as I'm sure many of us do. So we'll be at the Women Who Count conference. We're sponsoring the opening reception
Okay.
on basically next Wednesday with Path Quest. It's going to be a really exciting 80s bash and really fun. I'm so excited about that. So we'll be there for that conference. And then I'm personally heading to Vegas for Intuit Connect. We're sponsoring a Women Who Lead Cabanas event, which is really exciting. We're going to have the She Counts podcast, Nancy McClelland and Question Telka, there to be doing a bit of a meet and greet and bringing on some of their guests from the first season to come and like talk with people at the pool, and kind of give people a place in between the Women Who Count and Intuit
Yeah.
Connect to reconnect with everybody in Vegas. And then on the same Sunday, we're also sponsoring Sharon Fuller's book launch. So if
Right. Oh, she told me about that. That's
yeah,
right.
yeah, it's looking like it's going to be a really cool event. Every email she sends me, I get more and more excited for it. So we're sponsoring that on the Sunday night. And then we have a second Cabana Day on Tuesday, where once again, we're bringing in just a ton of really interesting accounting people to come and hang out and answer low key questions while hanging out in some cabanas at the Aria. So
Right.
yeah, you might see me
Could,
popping around.
okay.
And
Could be
then
worse. Yeah. Could be
yeah,
worse. Yeah.
and then going complete 180 in mid-November, we'll be at the FATE conference in New York City for CFOs. So
Okay.
yeah, that should be cold.
Yeah. It definitely won't be Vegas.
It will
Yeah.
not be Vegas.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Well, super.
yeah.
And then is it just forwardly.com?
Forwardly.com. Yeah,
Forwardly.com.
forwardly.com is where to go. And you can always connect with me as well. If you have any questions, feel free to write into me at jane@forwardly.com, or you can always reach my team at help@forwardly.com is typically faster, especially when I'm out of office. Yeah, we're always here.
Well, great. Well, look them up. We'll be in Vegas as well, so we'll probably bump into you out there sometime. I think I arrive Sunday. I don't think I get in time. What time is Sharon's book launch?
Oh, it starts at 7, but you know what? There's going to be buses going between the venue and the Aria for like 4
Okay.
hours.
Oh,
So
okay.
let me know if you
Okay.
need an invite. I'll have to hook you up.
Yeah, she mentioned it to me. I had her actually on the podcast maybe 3 weeks ago, and she mentioned it then, and I didn't remember the time on it. So I think I get in maybe I may land around 7. So
Okay.
um,
Well,
um,
if you feel like it, it's going to be a heck of a party.
yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, we might be able to get that on the list, and then yeah, so we'll be out there. Look us up. Hopefully, we'll bump into one another. Uh,
Yeah, of course.
And if you're listening to this, go out and check out Forwardly. You can see what they do, help you out with your payments.
Thank you so
And
much.
I guess go see them at the pool at Aria.
Yes. Come hang out with
So
us at the pool. Come and hang out with us at Women Who Count, or see us in New York.
very good. All right. Well, thank you so much. Hopefully we'll see you in a couple of weeks, Jane.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
This episode of the Accounting Insiders podcast is brought to you by Insightful Accountants Be Insightful membership program. Get 9 expert-led training tracks, over 30 CPE hours a year, hands-on workshops, and year-round premium content to grow your skills and your practice. Learn more at blog.insightfulaccountant.com. Just click the premium member content button.